Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predictions for Manchester United's game against Brentford. So score prediction, I'm going to go with 2-1 to Manchester United. And the goal scorers for Manchester United, I'm going to go with Cristiano Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes. And Brentford's goal scorer, I'm going to go with Bryan Mbeumo. So that is your predictions. Now, Manchester United are coming into this game on the back of a 1-0 win against Norwich. The goal against Norwich came from a Cristiano Ronaldo penalty. Ronaldo won the penalty as he was pulled down by Max Aarons. Ronaldo now has 13 goals in all competitions since he re-signed for Manchester United, and he has 802 goals in his career. Manchester United were very poor against Norwich. Ralph Rangnick was unimpressed by his side's lack of intensity against Norwich. But reflecting on the win against Norwich, it's back-to-back wins in the Premier League for Ralph Rangnick. Ralph Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season, and then after that it said Rangnick will take a consultancy role for a further 2 years. If Rangnick does well as the interim manager, there's a chance he'll get the Man United job on a permanent basis. If Manchester United beat Brentford on Tuesday night, that will be 4 wins in a row in the Premier League. Brentford, they're coming into this game on the back of a 2-1 win against Watford. Brentford are enjoying a very good season to their standards. Brentford are 9th in the Premier League. This season has been Brentford's first ever season in the Premier League. Prior to this season, the last time Brentford were in the top flight was back in 1947. Brentford have got some good players. Obviously, one of Brentford's key players is Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney will not be in contention to play in this game as Ivan Toney has got COVID. Brentford have also got Sergi Canos. He's another one of the key players that Brentford have got. They've also got Max Haygarth. He's one of their attacking players. Brentford have also got Marcus Forss. Brentford have also got Tariq Fosu. He's out with injury at the moment. Brentford have also got Bryan Mbeumo. Now he's a very, very good attacking player. They've also got Da Silva. Da Silva is out with injury at the moment. Brentford have also got Shandon Baptiste. They've got Christian Norgard, he's also good. They've also got Joel Valencia. They've also got Pontus Jansson. Brentford have also got Finn Stevens. They've got Rico Henry, Charlie Good. So they are quite a few of the players that Brentford have got. Let me put into the equation that Brentford lost Ollie Watkins to Aston Villa. And they also lost Ben Rama to West Ham. The Brentford manager is Thomas Frank. He's done a really good job at Brentford, to his credit. You know, Thomas Frank has been Brentford manager for over 3 years. He's under contract with Brentford until 2023. Before he was the Brentford manager, he was the Brentford assistant. Before, Thomas Frank managed Bromby. And before, he managed Denmark's under-16s, under-17s and under-19s. Manchester United have got players missing. Obviously, Lindelof had to come off against Norwich because he was suffering breathing difficulties and chest pains. Lindelof, of course, has been seen by the club doctor, and according to Ralph Rangnick, Victor Lindelof is okay. Wan-Bissaka, he's out with injury at the moment. He came off injured in the 1-1 draw against Young Boys. Pogba, he's still out with a thigh injury. Pogba is out for the rest of the year. Raphael Varane, he's obviously still out, but he's close to returning. Edison Cavani, he's still out but close to returning. Martial recently picked up an injury. So they're the injuries Man United have got, and Matic has got a cold. Manchester United's next game after Brentford is Brighton. Manchester United are sitting 5th in the Premier League. Now, at the end of the season, I can assure that Manchester United will get a permanent manager. Now, obviously, there has been rumours about Erik ten Hag becoming Manchester United's next permanent manager. Revert back to earlier on in the season, it said Erik ten Hag is said to be interested in the Manchester United job in the summer, and Ajax will not stand in his way if he wants to leave at the end of the season. Now, revert back to earlier on in the week, Edwin van der Sar spoke about Manchester United's interest in Erik ten Hag, and Edwin van der Sar believes Ajax could lose Erik ten Hag in the summer. Edwin van der Sar expects a Man United role in the future. I'd like to see Edwin van der Sar come back to Man United. You know, don't forget Edwin van der Sar is the former Man United goalkeeper. He endured 6 years as a goalkeeper for Man United, and he won 4 Premier League titles. He won the League Cup, he won the Community Shield, and he also won the Champions League. Edwin van der Sar is a CEO at Ajax now. He's worked as CEO at Ajax since 2016. Revert back to the other week, Roberto Mancini was mentioned. It said Manchester United consider hiring Roberto Mancini instead of Mauricio Pochettino. But recently, Roberto Mancini denied becoming Manchester United's next permanent manager. You know, Roberto Mancini is in charge of Italy. He's been in charge of Italy since 2018. Revert back to last summer, he won the European Championship with Italy. Roberto Mancini's got a contract with Italy until 2026. Around a decade ago, Roberto Mancini was the manager of Man City, and when he was the manager of Man City, he won the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Community Shield. Revert back to earlier on in the season, Brendan Rodgers was mentioned, but I initially disregarded Brendan Rodgers because revert back to earlier on in the season, Brendan Rodgers dismissed links to the Man United job, and he come out and said that I'm proud to be at Leicester. At one point though, this is when Ollie was still United manager, he said Brendan Rodgers was house hunting in Cheshire, and that stirred some suggestions up, and at that point he said Rodgers was the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And Pochettino, you know, he's been mentioned a lot. I still believe that there's a very good chance that Pochettino will become Manchester United's next permanent manager. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. You know, Manchester United sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. Then Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho after like 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United because he did win 3 trophies in his first season. The 3 trophies he won was the Europa League, the Carabao Cup, and the Community Shield. And 3 weeks ago now, Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer following the 4-1 defeat to Watford. Obviously, Solskjaer was Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. Manchester United fans have just got to accept that we're never going to be the team we was under Ferguson. You know, no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did, no matter who the manager is. You know, Alex Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30-odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. You know, Ferguson was at Manchester United for around 26 years, so reflecting on that, Ferguson was a long-serving manager. You know, Manchester United have got very, very good players. You know, look who we've got. You know, we've got a talented player in Mason Greenwood. You know, Mason Greenwood didn't start against Norwich recently, but he did come on in the game. Greenwood obviously played in the 1-1 draw against Young Boys, and Greenwood scored a very good volley in that game. It was a lovely cross by Luke Shaw to find Greenwood. Greenwood came on in the game against Crystal Palace last weekend, and he got the assist for the Fred goal. At one point, Greenwood was out with COVID for a while. At one point, Greenwood went a long time without scoring. He's been a revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time. And last season, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. Manchester United have got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Like I said earlier on, Ronaldo scored yesterday from the penalty spot against Norwich. Could have had more than one goal because Ronaldo had a good chance in the first half, produced a good save from Tim Krul, and he had a good chance towards the end from close range, but he put it over the bar. Anyway, Ronaldo now has 13 goals in all competitions since he re-signed for Manchester United, and he's got 802 goals in his career, like I've already mentioned. Ronaldo obviously played last weekend against Crystal Palace. He had his chances in that game, but he couldn't convert them. Ronaldo got a brace in the 3-2 win against Arsenal, including the winner from the penalty. Ronaldo has won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Ronaldo's got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year, and he receives £480,000 a week. Ronaldo wears the number 7 shirt, and Man United got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. Revert back to October, he got named Player of the Month, and revert back to September, he got named Premier League Player of the Month. So that's back-to-back awards. Jadon Sancho is a decent player. Sancho was quite poor against Norwich yesterday, but Sancho still does look a better player since Solskjaer's been sacked. Sancho played against Crystal Palace last weekend. He was very good in the first half against Crystal Palace, but he was poor in the second half. He weren't too bad against Arsenal. Sancho was very good in the 2-0 win against Villarreal and the 1-1 draw with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge because he scored in both of them games. Sancho has scored 2 goals for Man United so far, but revert back to when we had Solskjaer, Man United could not get the best out of Sancho, because obviously Solskjaer was persistently playing him out of position. There again, there was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play in under Ole. Sancho did enjoy 4 good years at Dortmund before he came to Man United. Man United got Sancho for 78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 73 million up front. Sancho's got a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Anthony Elanga, he looks a good asset to the first team squad. Revert back to what I've mentioned before. Elanga started in the 1-1 draw with Young Boys. He also came on in the game against Crystal Palace last weekend. I haven't had a great deal of a perception on Elanga though, because he doesn't get in the first team squad much. Amad Diallo, I said before he looks a good asset for the first team squad. Amad Diallo played against Young Boys not so long ago. I expected him to play a lot more in the first team than he has done, if I'm going to be honest with you. Look what we paid for him. We got Amad Diallo in a deal worth 37 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 19 million pounds up front. Got him from Atalanta. Bruno Fernandes is also a good player overall, but I'm going to make an admission regarding Bruno Fernandes. I think he's endured very poor games this season. Bruno Fernandes was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. Fernandes, was poor against Norwich yesterday because he got dispossessed far too many times. Fernandes had chances against Crystal Palace last week, but he couldn't convert them. Fernandes did score in the 3-2 win against Arsenal. That was the last goal he scored. I think the last assist he provided was the 3-0 win against Tottenham. But, Fernandes is still one of the best players we've got, and he's one of the best signings we made since Ferguson retired. Manchester United got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Fernandes has been a Man United player almost 2 years now. Revert back to earlier on in the season, Fernandes did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. And when he first came to Man United, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." Fernandes has got a contract with the club till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. And Edinson Cavani, he's also a good player as well. Cavani's obviously not available at the moment. He's out with injuries. Close to returning though. Cavani had an injury earlier on this season. Cavani initially lost his place in the team with the club re-signing Ronaldo last summer. Cavani's contract at Man United expires next summer. We revert back to May, sign that 1-year contract extension. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG, and this season's been his second full season at Man United. Cavani will be leaving Man United next year, I should presume. I heard that he wants to make a move to Barcelona. Well, Barcelona are keen on signing Edinson Cavani, but only for a modest price. Marcus Rashford, I think he's good when he wants to be, but he's endured poor games this season. Rashford was poor against Norwich yesterday, got dispossessed far too many times, and he looked very, very sluggish on the ball. He didn't look fully fit to me. Rashford wasn't that good against Crystal Palace last weekend either. He weren't that good in the 3-2 win against Arsenal, even though he got an assist in that game. Rashford did alright when he came on against Chelsea. Well, yeah, he did well in the second half against Chelsea, but he weren't so good in the first half, was he? Don't forget, Rashford at one point was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Quite a lot now, Rashford will be playing up top. I've said to you before, haven't I, that Rashford's mostly effective from the left-hand side. That's where you seem to get the best out of him. Rashford's been a Manchester United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time. He's been in our senior squad since 2016, and Rashford's got a contract with the club until 2023. Donnie Van Der Beek, he's also another good player. But I haven't had a great deal of a perception on him at Manchester United because he just doesn't get enough starts. Van Der Beek didn't start against Norwich yesterday, but he did come on in the game. Van Der Beek started in the 1-1 draw against Young Boys. He was in an unfamiliar role in that game. He was the holding midfielder. He put a good performance out against Young Boys, apart from the poor pass that he made that led to the Young Boys equaliser. I think the only way Man United can persuade Van Der Beek to stay, and that's if he gets the opportunities he's been demanding under Ralph Rangnick, because revert back to Solskjaer, Van Der Beek got nowhere near enough opportunities, and reflecting on that, Van Der Beek was very frustrated. Van Der Beek has only scored 2 goals for the club, and he's been at Manchester United for over a year and a half. Manchester United got Van Der Beek for 40 million, with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and Van Der Beek's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Fred, I've been really, really impressed with him in recent weeks. Fred played yesterday against Norwich, put another good performance out. Fred put a very good performance out against Crystal Palace last weekend. He scored a stunning goal late on against Crystal Palace. But it wasn't only his goal against Crystal Palace why he was good, his overall performance was just good. You know, Fred played well in the 3-2 win against Arsenal because he got an assist in that game and he won the penalty. You know, did well in the 1-1 draw against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge earlier on in the season. He squandered a chance in that game that came from a mistake from Mendy. Fred has been a Manchester United player for a few years. Man United got Fred in a deal worth 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Paul Pogba, he's also a good player as well. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player. You know, Pogba's out with a thigh injury at the moment. He's out for the rest of the year. Pogba got the thigh injury in France training earlier on this season. Pogba's been a big miss for Man United. Because revert back towards the start of the season, Pogba was in scintillating form. He's got 7 assists so far in the league this season. Revert back towards the end of last season, Pogba produced very good performances, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while and he sustained some ankle injuries at Man United. As Paul Pogba. Recently, it's said that Ralph Rangnick will not try to persuade Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United if he wants to go. As you all know, Pogba's contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, you know, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Alex Telles, you know, I think he's a decent left back as well, but he put up a poor performance out against Norwich yesterday. You know, he got dispossessed in the game quite a lot. You know, couldn't really get forward. Telles, though, did have a good chance in the game from the free kick, but it hit the crossbar. You know, Telles was far superior in the games against Palace, Arsenal and Chelsea than the game against Norwich yesterday. You know, revert back to earlier on this season, Telles had an injury. Manchester United brought Telles in to provide competition for Shaw. Man United got Telles for 15.4 million with add-ons included. And Diego Dalot, he's okay when he wants to be. He was poor against Norwich yesterday. You know, Dalot obviously got a yellow card in the game. He was lucky not to be booked in the first half for the challenge on Josh Sargent. He was just poor. You know, he was far superior in the games against Palace and Arsenal than he was against Norwich. Obviously, Dalot's our backup right back to Pisaki. Obviously, we had to start Dalot anyway yesterday against Norwich because Pisaka wasn't available because Pisaka came off injured against Young Boys. Last season, Dalot enjoyed a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot around 3 years ago from Porto, paid £19 million for him. Luke Shaw, he's a good left back overall. But Luke Shaw's been poor in the vast majority of the games he's played in this season. And I'm shocked in that aspect because last season Luke Shaw was superb. Luke Shaw obviously played in the 1-1 draw against Young Boys. He did well in that game, to be fair. Probably his best game so far this season. Shaw got the assist for the Mason Greenwood goal against Young Boys, didn't he? And he got forward well and got in some good positions. I'm sure, you know, Luke Shaw will regain his form as the season goes on. You know, Luke Shaw not so long ago had a head injury. You know, he had a minor injury earlier on this season. He is injury prone, which is a concern. Shaw's been at Manchester United for 7.5 years now, so he's been a long-serving player. He's got under 2 years left on his contract. Still remains our first choice left back, despite the arrival of Tellez last year and despite, his poor performances. And Wan-Bissaka, he's a good right back defensively, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. Raphael Varane, he's also a good centre half as well, but obviously he's out with a hamstring injury at the moment. He's close to returning. Varane's already endured 2 injuries as a United player because revert back to earlier on in the season. Varane had a groin injury and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. And you've got Eric Bailly, that's a good centre half as well. Bailly obviously had to come on yesterday to replace Lindelof. Bailly's done well in all the games he's played in this season, apart from the game against Man City when Man United lost 2-0. He was poor in that game. You've got Harry Maguire, that's good when he wants to be, but hasn't really proven how good he can be at Man United. He's enjoyed a lot of poor games this season. Maguire played against Norwich yesterday, and I don't think he was that good. But there again, Maguire had a very good opportunity from a long-range header. Produced a good save from Tim Krul. Revert back to earlier on in the season, Maguire had a calf injury, and towards the end of last season he had ligament damage in his ankle. David De Gea, he's a very, very good goalkeeper as well. Got man of the match yesterday against Norwich. He made good saves to deny Timu Puki, and he denied Kabat twice from 2 headers. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.